That's okay. Oh my gosh. Woo! Wait a minute. We got to come up a little bit. You know how we do now. It emerged now. We got to come up a little bit. Woo! You guys are awesome. I cannot believe we are here. It has been, I felt like I was telling Mary, I feel like we were lifted up from 2021 and just dropped, 2020 and dropped right here in 2021. I feel like it's like, what happened? And
Let's not get too existential.
I'm about to go there.
Well, a lot of people have to give you.
Right? And I'm just telling you guys, this is like emotional, but I'm not going to cry in front of you. But I just was thinking, we're back live again. I never knew when we were going to go live again. So everybody was saying, I cannot wait till we hug and all that stuff. And I'm so glad that we can do that now. I don't know about you, but are y'all feeling a certain kind of way that we are in the flesh? Are you feeling that? Are you feeling something? It's really, really affected me emotionally, and I didn't know that we were going to ever have this again, honestly. I'm sure you've heard that Emerge is no longer. He made the announcement a couple months ago. I'm not sure what he's going to do. I don't think it's going to be a permanent thing. He'll probably just work something out. And I'm talking about Jim Shires. Simpson Scripts was one of their babies. We started at Emerge their first year. And they welcomed us with open arms, and, it is what it is. But right now, I'm in the present. I'm loving you here. I can touch you. I can hug you. I can tell you I love you face to face. This is just, it's crazy. It's a crazy feeling. I'm very overwhelmed. So I want to thank every last one of you guys for making it out tonight. We are safe. We are vaccinated. We're wearing masks. And we're kind of social distancing, kind of. But we're good now. We're good. And a lot of things are opening up. I'm feeling the vibe. And, I love you guys. So, with that said, how many playwrights are presenting tonight? 1, 2, oh, cool beans. All right. So, we're going to do our out-of-town playwrights first, starting with, and by the way, guys, we're very casual. This is a very casual thing. We're going to start with Entitled, and that is written by one of my favorite people, Miss Grace Ellis, playwright from Greensboro, and the cast who has Entitled, come on up and how we do it, guys. This is all cold reading by the actors, and whoever's not reading, you're automatically the forum, and just give your feedback, however you feel. Don't feel pressured, just give your feedback after the reading. So, all the Entitled cast, come on up here. You can sit like that. Yeah. Where you want to sit? Nice to meet you.
Entitled. The characters. Regina, 40, the oldest sister of a distinguished family. Lizzie, 36, the younger sister. Olaf, 30, their wayward brother. Robert Cornwall, a lawyer. The living room of the mother, who died 2 weeks ago, a spacious room with fine furniture, but the carpet is stained and there are little litter boxes and cat hair everywhere. 2 weeks after their mother's death, her 3 adult children gather to meet with their lawyer and learn about the inheritance they are entitled to. Surprise!
Before we start, let's project, because we want that red wall to hear us.
Okay.
At Rise, Regina and Lizzie are perched on the furniture in the living room, awkwardly making conversation.
So, Lizzie, although you couldn't make it to Mother's funeral,
I told you, Regina, Augustus was out of town on an assignment. Ava and Grayson were both coming down with colds. There wasn't much notice. Transportation from Florida is hard to arrange, and it was just impossible.
so thoughtless of Mother, not to give us a heads up on what day she intended to die. And it's not like you came up to see her very often, is it? How many times this past year? Once? Twice?
Cut it out, Regina. You have no idea what my life is like. You have no idea what I have to deal with.
Yeah, you're right about that, sister. You have no idea what it was like caring for Mother this past 2 years. She was so needy. You can't imagine.
Well, I'm here now. Where is that lawyer? What's his name again?
Robert Cornwall. He specializes in settling estates. He was highly recommended.
And why aren't we meeting at his office?
He insisted on meeting us here. I don't know why. I don't think he's much to go over. I drew something up and got Mother to sign it a few months ago. Went and got his stamp on it. Everything should be settled. I don't really think you even needed to come. Where is he anyway?
The whole house stinks. I can hardly stand it.
It's the cats. She kept taking in more and more. Every time I turned around, there was another one.
And you were having to feed them and clean up after them?
Well, I had some help with that. But let me tell you, as soon as she breathed her last, they all got gathered up and taken to the animal shelter.
We're going to have to get some major cleaning done before we put this house on the market.
We?
There's a loud knock on the door.
Oh, that must be Mr. Cornwall now.
The door bangs open and Olaf barges into the room.
Hey, you two! Hope I'm not too late.
Olaf! I hardly recognized you. How long has it been?
Oh, I don't know.
6 years and 2 months, to be precise. And you show up now? Mother's not here, you know. She died 6 weeks ago.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Where have you been living all this time?
Oh, here and there. Most recently in Alaska.
And you, what, caught a plane and flew in from Alaska? Why now? Why today of all days?
Well, that Mr. Cornwall persuaded me. Said it was Mom's last wish that we all be here.
That doesn't make any sense at all. Nobody knew how to get in touch with you. You're lying.
Hey, it wasn't easy to get here. Aren't you two even glad to see me?
Lizzie accepts a hug. The doorbell rings. Regina leaves the room and comes back, leading Robert Cornwall.
Have a seat, Mr. Cornwall. Sorry about the cat hair. I haven't gotten
Oh,
around.
no problem, Miss Windsor.
This is my sister, Elizabeth. We call her Lizzie. And I hadn't mentioned my brother, Olaf. He's been, I guess you could say, estranged for us for years, but he just waltzed in and...
Glad you were able to make it after all.
Wait a minute. You two were in contact? Mr. Cornwall, how did you know how to reach him? We didn't have any idea where he was.
Your mother gave me a piece of paper with his cell phone.
What? How did she have his number?
We used to talk sometimes, you know. Every time I relocated, I got in touch with her. And I always called her on her birthday.
She never told me that. And when did she see you to give you his number?
Now, let's calm down. Let's sit down and go over everything. Let's sit down so I can go over everything with you. It's what your mother would have wanted.
Everyone sits down. Cornwall opens his briefcase and pulls out some papers.
It won't take long to go over this, and I have a copy for each of you.
Of the documents I brought you, right?
Well, not exactly. Let me explain. About 2 months ago, just 2 weeks before she died, as it turned out, your mother called my office and asked for an appointment. She came in and
Stop right there. How did she get to your office?
her home health aide, what was her name? Charisse. Yep. She brought her and wheeled her into the office in a wheelchair with the oxygen tank and
No, Charisse never said a word to me about that.
Wait a minute, Regina. You had home health aides looking after Mother? I thought you said it was all you. All day, every day.
It was, for a while. But I just couldn't take it. Nobody could have. So I contacted home instead and got somebody to come in.
How many days a week?
What business is that of yours?
Now you see why I haven't wanted to hang out here.
let's not get distracted here, Regina. Your mother handed me a piece of paper with her wishes on it. And we're a bit different from the list that she'd given me earlier.
Let me see it.
Cornwall hands Regina the paper.
This is not our mother's handwriting. It's not, is it, Lizzie? You tell him.
No, it's not. At that stage, your mother wasn't able to write. She had dictated it to Charisse.
So Charisse was conspiring.
But your mother could still express herself clearly. She swore that this was what she wanted. And my secretary and a man from the office next door witnessed it, signed it.
And what had I brought you?
Your mother was aware of that paper, Regina, but she said that what you wrote up was not what she wanted. This was her last will and testament. Shall I go over it with you?
Let's hear it.
Right. First of all, she set aside up to $1,000 each for you for travel expenses to attend her funeral.
And I'm the only one who attended, so.
Any money not spent on travel was to go to her church. There was also money for funeral expenses, the casket, gravestone, etc. Regina, if you will bring my office a list of expenses, this will cover it all.
You're managing the money.
No, the accountant in our firm. She gave him power of attorney. It was her wish. The money remaining in her savings account at the time of her death was to be divided equally between the three.
Olaf gets 1/3 of her money?
That's not fair.
Her wish, and I must warn you that it will not amount to a whole lot of money for each of you. She had made some donations, some gifts in her final weeks.
I'd love to see a list of those gifts. Well, at least we have the house and the land. Once we get that cleaned up, it will be worth a fortune, and I assume that money, as well as the task of preparing everything for sale, goes to me.
No. It is her wish, her final wish, that the house and property be donated to AARF, the Animal Rescue Service.
All the profits from the sale.
No, the house itself and the land. There will be no sale. Her cats and others will be resettled here.
Do you have any idea what this land is worth? I've had it appraised. There would be enough that I could share some with you too, even though
As I said, there will be no sale. She said so very firmly.
Mr. Cornwall, I feel that you have betrayed me. You've deprived me of everything I was entitled to after overseeing my mother's care. I need to find another lawyer to investigate your misdeeds. And as for that Charisse, I can make sure that she is fired from home instead and never finds another job in this
That won't be necessary. The last I heard from Charisse, she and her family were moving to the Cayman Islands.
What the hell was one of those gifts from Mom, I bet. Way to go, Mom. Way to go, Charisse. I spent some time in that part of the world. No, well, I guess you don't know, but it's cool. After that last winter in Alaska, I think I might mosey on down there myself.
Handing each of them a set of papers from the briefcase.
Well, here it is. If you want to study it further, your mother's last will and testament. I'm glad I had good luck to meet the feisty woman. Oh, don't get up. I can let myself out.
Cornwall leaves. Regina, Lizzie, and Olaf stare awkwardly at the papers. Sounds of cats scratching at the door and meowing lies dim in the play.
Okay, you have the floor. Anybody with a comment?
Well, I thought the two sisters' banter was really good. It Sounds like two sisters talking.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it is.
Can we speak? Can we?
Yeah.
I love them. Hold on. Just the energy like that, the loosey-goosey brother.
Yeah.
Not, yeah, I love them a lot.
I could actually smell the whiskey from here.
Oh, I smell something else.
Was this a scene or a complete short play?
I said 10-minute play.
10-minute play, okay. I think it really traveled well, and there was a beginning, middle, and end, and it didn't overstay its welcome, but it kind of eased into it very nicely. And there was comedy and drama, so I enjoyed it.
Matt?
Yeah, I thought, I liked the writing for each of the characters, the siblings. They were definitely their own people, and the writing was really, it was funny and well written for all of them. So I enjoyed the performances.
It was. A lot of nuances too. A few nuances. People in the back, can y'all, you're all able to hear enough? Okay. You had your hand up and then you had your hand up in the back.
Oh yeah, I would like to see it with the whole setting because I feel like this like dilapidated house around them would be sort of like more colorful, I guess.
Yes. Did you have your hand up? No? Okay. Anybody else? Is that it? Okay. Well, we're gonna move on to the next play. All right, Annie, Taft's cast, please. Thank you so much. You're awesome. I got a picture of you.
Do they give it back to you?
Yes, okay, that's right, thank you. You can just put your script somewhere. Chris, I want to see some more.
I'm so sorry.
There you go.
All right, this is Johnny and Celeste by Annie Taft. Cast, Johnny, mid-60s, tall and lanky, any ethnicity. Abby, mid-30s, any ethnicity, spunky and unrelentingly positive. Setting, a bedroom. Time, the present. Always the present. At Rise, Johnny is putting on his shoes, Abby bending down to assist him.
I don't know why I gotta put on shoes.
Everyone here wears shoes.
Everyone?
Yes, everyone. See? I have shoes on.
Yeah, but yours look comfortable and you just gotta slip them on. Why don't I have shoes like that?
Would you like shoes like that?
I would.
We'll see what we can do.
Johnny smiles, slaps Abby on the butt.
Horsefly.
Ow! I know you did not just do that.
Why ever not?
Because I am not your property.
Oh, I am sorry, doll.
Don't do it again.
You should have seen your face.
Come on, breakfast.
Breakfast, but I just had lunch.
Well, now it's time for breakfast.
Not hungry.
You will be when you smell the bacon.
Well, I do like bacon. Okay, let's go.
Why don't you brush your teeth first?
Why don't you brush your teeth first?
I will if you will.
Okay. When is Celeste coming?
In a bit.
I love Celeste.
I know.
Do you love Celeste?
Of course I do.
All right then, let's go brush our teeth.
You go ahead, and I'll be right after you.
Hey, you trying to get out of our deal?
Of course not. I just thought I would make the bed.
Better you than me.
Johnny exits to the bedroom, chuckling to himself. Abby starts making up the bed. A moment later, Johnny re-enters.
Why was I in the bathroom?
Tea.
Johnny, muttering to himself, exits the bathroom again. From the bathroom, he starts singing a song to himself, but loud enough for Abby to hear.
Teeth, 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 brushing my teeth. Teeth, 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 brushing my teeth.
Very nice.
What is?
Why, your teeth, of course. Teeth, 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 brushing my teeth.
Why did you sing that?
I thought you'd like it.
It is a very silly song, and you are a very silly woman.
Sorry.
Where's Celeste?
She'll be here soon.
I love Celeste.
I know.
Do you love Celeste?
Of course.
Oh, good. She is the best.
Yes, she is. Are you ready?
For what?
Breakfast.
I will wait for Celeste.
She won't be here until after breakfast.
I will wait anyway. I'm not hungry now.
Not even for bacon.
I do like bacon.
Let's go then.
But I love Celeste. I will wait.
I'll bet that if we go down to breakfast that Celeste will already be there.
Do you think?
Only one way to find out.
All right then, off we go.
Come on, before all the bacon is gone.
Gone from where?
Why, breakfast, of course.
I don't want any breakfast. I just had lunch.
Well, now it's time for breakfast.
I will wait for Celeste. We always eat breakfast together.
I'm sure she's waiting for you in the dining room right now.
How do you know this?
I was just there and I saw her.
I love Celeste.
I know.
Do you love Celeste?
Yes, I do.
When is Celeste coming?
Johnny suddenly looks up at the door as if someone just entered.
Celeste!
Abby turns around to see if someone is there. She sees no one.
I was waiting for you. She wanted me to go to breakfast, but I said I would wait.
Johnny pauses as if he's listening to someone talk.
That's what I told her too. We always eat breakfast together.
Hello, Celeste. I was telling Johnny.
Shh, Celeste is talking.
Sorry.
Go on, Celeste, my darling sweetheart. Yeah?
Johnny listens intently to Celeste. Starts laughing uproariously.
What did she say?
It's a good one. You didn't hear what she said?
No, I didn't.
Well, you should have been listening.
Never mind. Let's all go down to breakfast now.
She always was funny. So funny. She'd always make you laugh.
I know how much you miss her.
Miss who?
Oh, shall we?
Shall we what?
Breakfast.
No thanks, I'm not hungry.
Celeste is waiting for you.
Oh, well, we must not keep her waiting.
Johnny doesn't move.
I love Celeste.
I know.
End of play.
Thank you, thank you. Okay? Anyone?
I love a play that starts with waiting for someone to arrive. But I was just, I didn't know this could happen. It was awesome. It was like so different. So that was really cool.
Anybody else? We're typically not this quiet. We usually just chime in all over the
It was
place.
sad though.
I know this is the first day of the year, but we're gonna get that spirit back.
I just want to shout out for Chris, who brought that character to life.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, it's a nicely written script, but you really embody.
I second that.
Yes,
Very good.
yes, yes.
Well done.
I love Annie, you know, I've known her for years, and
She's
this is
great.
very different than her usual
She
work,
does
but
comedy.
it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's perfect.
Annie, the writer, what we're talking about, Annie usually writes comedies. So this is
Right,
still a little
right.
different, you know. So,
I'd like to see more of both of these characters that Chris and Sierra brought. It was fantastic.
yes.
I really could see,
Absolutely.
and there were laughs at first, and then, I mean, you guys both use silence so well.
Yeah.
And some of that's in the writing, but you guys really brought it, and I love these characters.
Yeah,
I would agree.
yeah.
I could watch it. Oh, and part of it is the shifts, you know, where some of it is expected that you're gonna forget and start over again, but some of it is, where it goes is so unexpected
Yes.
that.
I like that it takes you a few minutes of watching to realize what's going on.
Yes.
And then when it hits you, it's like, oh. And one thing that I mentioned when we rehearsed this once on Zoom, maybe like a week ago, I believe, and I told Annie, I felt like this feels like it's part of an anthology.
Oh.
Like you have
You
this
would
scene.
wanna see their
Yeah.
youth, Celeste
Yeah, well,
and.
just like it's all in the same rest home or retirement home or whatever, and like you have this scene here, you have a scene with completely different characters. It felt like an anthology to me when I read it with the Sierra.
I would guess David Cleonce's 87-year-old father, but I couldn't hear the person on the right in either play at all.
Mm-hmm, okay.
No to the person on the right, who's probably me, talk louder.
Thank you.
Just the brushing the teeth is great. Yeah. Love the brushing the teeth moment. The singing is always brushing the teeth. It really kind of captured the character.
That line is based on like a disco song.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Macho.
Right.
Well, no, it's a Chic song.
Yeah.
Oh.
And when we read the line, neither of us had ever heard the song.
Yeah.
Annie, I think, sent us a link. Unfortunately, we didn't.
She likes it better.
Sorry, Annie.
And, Matt?
Yeah, I was gonna say this play really did bring out, the comedy was wonderful and everything, but the use of silence and pauses, with good actors such as these, it really brought it to life,
Yes,
you know, even sitting in chairs.
yes.
I think it'd be a beautiful film.
Yeah.
I love the idea of an anthology.
Mm-hmm. Anybody else before we go to the next playwright?
Maybe I'm alone, I kept thinking of Beckett.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Samuel
The quality of the dialogue, the waiting,
Mm-hmm.
The twists,
the twists.
starting over again,
Yes,
starting over.
yes. The stage direction never moves.
And you love Samuel Beckett.
Yes, it doesn't.
Okay, well, we'll go to our next playwright. Thank you. Okay, so let's pull from our in-person people. Let's see who wants to go next? Oh God, not all at one time.
Too bad.
Uh-huh.
Somebody left their mask up.
Oh, sorry, let's see.
Oh, a little fashionable. Lordy. No, you're one of us. You're family now. Okay. Yes, go right ahead. So we have a monologue coming up. Now, monologues are also welcomed. This is more like for feedback, but Simpson Scripts has an evening of monologues where there's no feedback. It's a reading performance or off the performance, however, but. Okay.
Just to orient you, this is a series of monologues called Georgia O'Kee. The monologues are called Tag Team GOK. And so this, I brought two tonight, and this is the youngest Georgia, and then we have the next. No, that's the youngest Georgia, and then this is the 18-year-old Georgia. So it's really a play, but it's a play made up of monologues of Georgia O'Kee's life.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
I remember only 2 paintings I did at Chatham. The 2 good ones. A large bunch of purple lilacs and some ears of yellow and red corn. That's what I painted. Chatham burned down the year after I graduated, so my paintings were lost, but I remember those lilacs in that corn because in painting them, I discovered that I felt at ease using color. I used the wet-on-wet method. Do you know it? Wet paper applied to wet paper creates a delicious wash of color that floats about softly, gradually shifting from dark to light or combining gradually with another color. You can encourage the paint to run or you can splatter it across the wet surface. It's exciting, unpredictable, complex, like me. You dampen the paper using a large brush in clear water. That's why the paper has to be sturdy. Like a full-size sheet of rough Watman paper. Do you know it? It's imported from England and is the most amazing paper ever made. On the edges, there's a small, soft, curled decal that feels like fringe. If you hold the paper against the light, you can see the J.W. Watman watermark. The color is a cool, bright white. Watman paper is 100% cotton rag, meaning that it is not made from trees, but from old rags. I like to imagine that it's made from the great sails of British ships. It comes in two finishes, the rough and the cold pressed. The rough finish is perfect for watercolor. One side has a knobby tooth, evenly spaced. The other side is softer. The paper is loud and rubbery. Virtuosos like Gainsborough and Turner clamored for the paper bearing the Waterman mark. Queen Victoria used Watman for her personal correspondence. The school brought what they got, retrieve paper, not the top grade perfect sheets, but fine for students and only slightly imperfect, like me.
Thank you. Okay. Anybody?
Do you want to hear the younger Georgia?
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Oh, okay. Yes. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, Hallie.
I was only 14 when I was sent to boarding school, when it changed for my family's wheat farm. And I liked it. The Dominican sisters had rules. And I liked them. We were required to wear a black dress, unmixed with white or any other color. Very different from the flowered smocks I'd worn back home. I liked my black dress. And I liked the Sacred Heart Academy because it brought me solitude, serenity, simplicity. I began to wear my hair pulled back, severely, in a long braid running down my back. The art studio was on the second floor, with large windows that framed a view of the rolling Wisconsin hills. I drew them often, and I found that I was good at drawing landscapes. Sister Angelique taught the drawing class. One day, Sister Angelique critiqued me harshly. I'll never forget it. Your drawings are too small, and the lines are too black. That stung. I could barely keep from crying. I began to routinely destroy any drawing I created that was unacceptable. But here, I did keep this little one as a reminder. I pledged to myself that I would never, never draw anything too small again. So I began to draw big, and with a light touch. I can still see those large, pale drawings put on display along the hallway outside our classroom. One of the nuns had scrawled G. O'Keefe on each drawing at the bottom corner. It was revolting to see my name so large, black, and ugly scrawled against my pale drawings. Seeing G. O'Keefe scrawled so harshly, well, it looked like someone else's name, not mine.
Okay. 4.
I really want to hear the rest of these because I'm a fan of Georgia O'Keeffe also. And the line about the nun scrawling her own name at the bottom of her delicate drawing is so symbolic, because the thief had to really push her own way through the art world into advanced stage, and you've got her 12 years old, and that struggle is already there. So I'm looking forward to hearing more of it.
Thank you.
Yes, and then David.
What I really enjoyed was, it put me right in the time period, but it didn't have to spell it out, it didn't have to say, starting, whatever the time period was. It was just in the language, and it lived in the period was in language. And then also I liked that there was something about, even though these were different seasons of the same person's life, it was very clearly the same person in the way they were speaking.
Sorry, Dylan, I don't have my glasses on. I know your voice, so I know it's you.
Like we're doing radio drama across.
I'll echo what Dylan said. I like the language, it was very conversational, fresh, uncluttered. I don't know much about art, and it was interesting, but my question is, who are we, the audience? Because I think that's crucial, and I don't know if this is set in some sort of eternal time or in the period, but I wasn't sure who Georgia is talking to. Obviously she's talking to us, the audience, but I'm not sure what role, and that could be important if we're a confidant, an art buyer, a critic, and maybe that changes. So I was curious about that. That it kind of tugged at me, and I don't want to say it was distracting, and maybe we don't know who that is, but that's just my instinct. That who is she talking to, and who are we?
I appreciate that, because I had not thought of doing any audience involvement in the play as much, as more like as a little chronological diary, but I also kind of thought it was a little like a TED Talk.
Okay, yeah, and like the princess, princess
You know me,
talks.
David,
Yeah.
I write monologues like TED Talk.
Yeah. But I still think it's important when you're doing a TED Talk.
Right.
Who are these people?
Yes,
Do they understand something? Are you impatient with them? Are you asking for acceptance? And that could change through different periods of George's life.
Yeah, it could.
So, just-
Yeah, that's great. Awesome.
The first one that was read is after the second one chronologically,
Yeah.
but the second one for me was more satisfying because I felt like it had more of an arc to it. Whereas the first one, I felt it felt like it was missing the antagonism, it was missing a high point, and maybe that could be layered over that if it were part of her awakening sexuality, and you use
Yeah.
and then suddenly we got something that becomes, but that's that would have to be written in the.
That's true. I mean,
It's almost like a
obviously,
directorial
Yeah.
note included by the playwright for a direction for the,
Oh, that's great. That's such a cool idea, because we talked just the tiniest bit about how it just needs to be the most delicious paper with the fringe on the edge, but the smell of it. And
at her age, it's
yes.
awakening
That's
sexuality,
so cool.
you can really.
Oh, girl. Yeah, that's great. Thank you.
I love the presentation and the writing of the 18-year-old enthusiasm. I work with a lot of people that are late teens and early 20s, and at 60, I don't have any of that. I still really.
Hey, speakers.
I don't have any of that. But just the joy that I get in seeing that was beautifully portrayed. So depending on how preceding, well, no, it's okay to do that too, but also preceding and then after.
Yeah.
This is right now, and this is how I'm feeling right now, as opposed to each one has to have an arc because it's the whole story arc.
Not necessarily, yes, but it still needs conflict. It feels like within sort of like stair step, you need something.
It could be, except, I'm making this up, we have 13 of them. I love that number, so that's what. And so, I mean, they don't all have to, yeah.
It could be a
And
choir.
each one of the monologues is a specific thing about Georgia Keith. One is she drew big.
Right.
Another thing is she discovered watercolor at a particular kind of paper. So we're building an art history education about her. And I feel like this play would be really great to present or to use for a teen girls theater camp.
Oh, wow.
That's kind of what I was
awesome.
thinking about. Yeah.
You have another comment over
Oh
here?
yeah, I was just gonna say, I thought both ladies did a really nice job. I think it's really hard to cold read a monologue and to be on stage by yourself. You know, the rest of us we had people with us, and both of you had a lot of confidence, and I especially liked your use of the paper. I know they're talking about going further, but I just thought both of you did a really nice job of cold reading solo up there. That was really, really impressive, and that's harder than what the rest of us did. So good job.
David and Harry were saying, you found, by doing them in the order you did, I got back to the appreciation of colors, and then you took me backwards to the black and white. I love, so consider doing it backwards.
Out of order. Out of order.
Because that actually worked, that worked for you incredibly well tonight, because I knew that she liked color, and then you took me back and said the nuns had them all wearing black. And that immediately told me that's why the first scene was so important.
Yeah.
And like what David was saying about considering your audience, think about whether George is trying to teach them art, because I learned a lot when you were talking about paper and things like that. Are they artists themselves that she's talking to, or want to be artists themselves? Because that's what I was wondering, was the audience art people, or was it a general audience? That's what I was curious about.
How many monologues do you have?
I'm to the point where she's just met her lover. So I've got about 8 so far.
That's a different. Obviously, they're of different age
Yeah.
points. And
Yeah, I want to get her all the way to retirement if I can. It's Stiglitz, the photographer that we all know about.
Yeah.
Yeah, how they meet. And one of the things that inspired me is that Georgia O'Keeffe was always so furious that people thought her large flower paintings were about female genitalia, and they're not. So that was where I started. But I also like to write I like to write monologues, as y'all know, what I do, for young women. So.
And Nancy is, I'm going to let Judy have the last comment, but I want to say Nancy is doing a public reading in October at Pure Life Theater. And I will keep you guys in the loop about that, so you guys can come and see another masterpiece of hers.
I did bring one monologue from that play tonight.
Oh, you did?
2. Yeah.
So I'm going to see if we have some time for that.
If you don't.
Yes, I mean, that would be awesome if we did. Judy?
I was thinking about the audience as well. And what struck me was, in my head, artists are like this and people are real. And those monologues connected the artist with a person. Like, my mother was an artist. I knew her as a person, and I knew her as an artist. But a lot of her students only knew her as an artist. And these monologues kind of bring it all together. Like, oh, she really liked that paper. You know? So I was very excited about that. That feeling was, oh, there's a person there. Not just a paintbrush at the end of an art, you know?
Awesome. Okay, well, great. Thank you so much. All right, Anthony, your crew. of his crew will come up here. How are y'all feeling so far?
We're good.
You're okay? Can you hear okay back there too? Okay, I'm worried about the guys in the back there. Okay. You can come up here if you like. I don't know. If you want to. Hi. Can I get anybody something to drink or whatever? I'll be your personal waitress.
Are you the wait staff too? Got a delegate. Got a delegate.
Well, this is called Book of Revolutions, and it's about different gay people during different revolutions.
Okay.
And because of Pride Month.
Right. Do you have favorite reference?
And no, not too much, not really. This is two Russian aristocrats that were lovers. They had an argument, and now they're stuck in a room by these soldiers that put them in there.
Oh, wow. That reminds me of a movie. Yeah.
I will hear about the movie later. Yeah.
Do not talk bad about Nikki, please.
We both stayed in Moscow because we thought Nikki would take care of things.
And he didn't clear the mess, did he?
I overheard that he abdicated. Now what are we supposed to do?
But who is in control now?
Who is in control? They are.
Peasants in control. Imagine that.
I'm afraid the country is crumbling is not the worst of it.
I need a tablet to calm me.
I'm sure someone will fix things. They always do.
What if no one fixes things for us this time? Who knows what's going on out there? We have no communication, no source of news.
We have nothing anymore.
Therefore, we must rely on ourselves.
Haven't you heard? We're useless. I'm going to lie down and hope that my brain releases a vapor of opium and seduces me into some sort of coma.
Snap out of your poppy field state. We better put our heads together to see what on earth we're going to do. Oh my God, us. Do you think they know?
Lower your voice.
Other people do. What if they found out?
Other people are not here, are they?
Well, maybe they asked around.
These people are not sophisticated as we are.
Fine. No one knows a thing. After they steal our golden furs, they're going to release us.
Thank you.
I'll bet that's why they threw us in here together. Because they know.
Will you stop?
Probably just holding us here to see what magnificent things they can run off with from our homes.
One of them smashed my mother's entire Fabergé collection as they dragged me away.
Oh! How appalling!
They tore through my front door and demanded that I come with them.
Such animals! I wonder if they have proof they can use against us.
Please don't say anything they can use against us. We're already in trouble for being nobility.
You're right. I should relax. If they really knew about us, they would have already shot us.
You're so dramatic.
You know how unreasonable the lower classes are.
Before we try to fix things out there, we need to fix things in here.
I don't know if I want to get into all of that now.
You never want to talk about our problems, do you?
Are you calling me superficial?
It's true. Yeah, I've known you for years, and every time I try to have a serious talk with you, poof! You change the subject or talk about a fur hat.
Fine. I agree that sometimes I become an empty piece of glass. Blame it on my parents who've been traveling since the day I was born. I need attention, and when I don't get it, I become a little bratty princess.
We all have our past traumas. What about me? My parents died when I was barely a child, and yet I've always listened to you. But I'll admit I take drugs, but that makes it easier to reason with reality.
Well, what good is reason or reality now?
Everyone we know is probably dead or incarcerated.
Now who is being dramatic?
I'm being realistic. There are riots out there, civil disorder.
I don't really care what's going on out there.
Are you saying you finally want to talk about what's going on in here?
We need to solve things, but...
We have to get our head together and think. Reason with them.
And reason with them. You've got to be kidding me. We have nothing to barter with.
We can't just remain here like a table and a chair.
Well, what then? Run through the doors and slap them?
Please, don't get hysterical. You always get hysterical.
Really? The entire world is collapsing and you're asking me to remain calm.
right now, all we have is our wits. We have to try and talk our way out of this.
We made life beautiful for them to admire, and look at what they do. Revolt, burn things, tear into our beautiful things and rip them apart.
Making life seem beautiful was the only thing we did. And we didn't make life beautiful for them, did we?
Well, not exactly.
We took no interest in anything the government ever did. We just went to parties and concerned ourselves with what to wear and how to look.
Oh, so now it's my fault that there's a new Russia.
I'm just saying, had we been more active in the larger realm, had we taken an interest in change, then we could have made some kind of a difference.
Well, what difference does it make now? Everything looks grim. I hope they're happy with the doom and gloom of a new Russia.
Look, we should talk about it. It's obviously adding to our distress.
Not that, and not now.
You and I haven't talked in weeks.
Oh, no, you don't. You do not bring that up here. Are you insane?
What if they kill us? Then our spirits will rise in oblivion and confusion because things were unresolved.
They'll kill us now if they overhear us, so just be quiet or talk about something else.
Stop. I must be honest in this time of reckoning. They are going to send us to a firing squad. They might allow us to live in exile.
Right.
We can go to Paris, like the Empress has.
And what do we live off of in Paris? Our money is gone. Do you think that the Grand Duke will just take us in? Please!
See?
You'll find yourself on Facebook, by the way.
Okay.
The shots up there, okay. Yes.
I must say, love the timing.
Oh, yeah. The timing was awesome. Yeah, it was. Okay. Anybody else? Yes.
I love the mic drop line where it says, we didn't take any interest in the, we didn't take any interest in them, so what, basically for what reason is this? That was powerful, that was extremely powerful.
Hey, Alexis, I'm sorry, I can't see you, but I know your voice. Yes, ma'am.
I think the casual kind of name drop of Tsar Nicholas was very good. You immediately know what time it is. You immediately know they're familiar with the Tsar, and even if he doesn't talk about Fabergé eggs later, you would know that they're aristocracy because they're on a one-on-one basis when they have bread.
Anybody else? Mary?
I definitely want more. I felt bereft when they stopped. And I could watch them a whole play, much less if you're going to look at other big events in history. Wow, a brilliant notion.
Tell us like one of
Speaking of,
Did you really like it, Mary?
There's the Chinese, the American.
I think it's
And they go back and forth.
French.
They pause, they go back and forth.
I enjoyed the hypocrisy of the character. Like Mike kept saying, stop being so dramatic, stop being so hysterical. And maybe that was just me, but I thought he was hysterical.
Honestly, great, funny line.
Yeah.
What I enjoyed about it so much was the way you've got these two people want to lead noble lives and look at their Fabergé eggs, and the world keeps crashing in on them. With soldiers outside. I mean, it's a lovely idea for comedy, but there's a very dangerous undertone beneath, and that's what I really like about it. They got rifles out there.
Yeah.
And it's a snapshot.
It gives it so much tone.
It's a snapshot, but it still holds up. There are things that kind of transcend this piece of history, this moment in history, and are still here.
I don't understand what you mean by that.
Really?
No.
Dylan is always very colorful. Yes, Matt?
Yeah, this was really great. I loved it. You guys did a great job. I think this would be a really great TV pilot, I don't know how much you have it, but if you saw the favorite last year on, what was it, HBO or whatever it was on Netflix, that sort of thing, this kind of, the comedic stuff is there.
Yeah.
And you can push that and just go crazy with it and really have, you know, if you can find the right showrunner or producer to get interested in an episodic thing very easily.
Okay. Anybody, I'm saying that's kind of a big start. See everybody. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you. All right. Our next playwright. Who's next? I don't want to skip anybody. Anybody? Raise your hand if you're presenting tonight. I know Mac is. Anybody else? Two? Okay. Two more?
Just one.
One more, okay. All right. Matt?
Okay.
Where's Hal?
I don't know who my cast is.
Okay. That's okay. Where's Hal? Where's Hal? Has Shirley in it. It has Randy in it. It has George in it. It has Hal in it. And and who's the other?
Are you gonna read?
And stage directions. Do we have stage directions?
Yeah, we have stage directions.
Okay. Somebody wants to, hold on. Okay.
You're good. Oh, God, you're perfect. He's perfect.
Okay.
I don't know how you get it, but he's perfect.
Yeah, stage directions, yeah. Okay. Stage directions in it. Okay. Okay. And I have who has not read tonight? Okay. Can I have
In person class.
Is that my name or is that my description?
That's your character. Yes, well. But you can take it as both. All right.
Let me make sure I get overlap. Okay, how about your real name?
Randy.
Sure.
Fred. Stage direction.
Hal?
That's who we get.
There are only 4 characters and a stage.
Okay. Okay, we're good. Okay, here we go.
Y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Interior, a large room filled with waiting room screens. Unseen papers rustle. A loud cough. A nose blows. Zoom echoes. The screen in the middle flickers and then comes on, showing George, large and in charge, holding a clipboard.
Whoever that is making that noise, stop. Mute when you come in, please.
The echoes stop. Another Zoom screen comes alive. A woman, Shirley, sits fidgeting with her hair.
Oh, hi. Hi. Sorry.
The third screen comes on, then off, then on again. Randy, an out-of-breath young man in a hoodie, mutes himself.
Randy, unmute.
Randy pokes at his screen like a deranged chicken and finally unmutes himself.
Am I on? Can you hear me? Oh, I thought I was going to be late.
Voices are heard talking over each other.
Everyone mute themselves, please.
Another screen comes on. Fred, George Wannabe, sits scowling at the screen.
All right, Mr. Boss.
I'm just trying to get this meeting started, and
Where's Hal? I rushed like crazy to get here on time. I hate rushing.
look, Hal is just running late. I'm sure he...
Oh, like you know exactly what Hal's doing.
Have you been on Hal's Zoom calls longer than any of you?
So that makes you in charge now. Maybe Hal doesn't even like you.
Come on, Guys, stop this. I'm sure Hal will be here, spit spot, and
You know, so what? You're Mary Poppins now.
that was just hurtful, Fred.
What if Hal has had an accident? He could be crumpled on the side of the road.
Now, let's not panic. Hal is just a tad late. He's been late before.
Not this late. What if he cut through the park and got jumped by drug dealers?
It's 2 p.m. Jeez, Randy, how do you even know when people are drug dealing?
Those guys were all wearing hoodies.
You are wearing a hoodie, Randy.
Yeah, but mine is a Sesame Street hoodie.
Oh, for goodness sake. Quit being a snowflake. Man up.
Lay off him, Fred.
Look, stop. Everyone just breathe. I'll give Hal a call. And
You can call him? Hal told me never to call him.
I bet he did.
Can you blame him?
People, please get a grip. I'm sure there's a rational explanation.
The last screen flickers and shows a quick space background, and then goes black, except for the person logo.
Oh, good. Hal's back.
Hal, that you?
We were so worried.
We thought you had an accident.
Hal, your screen is off. Can you turn on your video? We need to get to work.
Are you on drugs?
So you are a drug expert now, right, Randy?
I take anxiety drugs.
Oh, you poor thing. My
Guys,
aunt.
please. Look, come again? Hal, our connection, it's bad, I think. Sounds like you have a cold or something. Are you okay? Look, you're really breaking up, Hal. Maybe sign off and sign on again.
I really think it's drugs.
Come again? Hal. Hal, could you repeat that? Hal.
Got to be drugs.
We are having trouble hearing what you're trying to say, Hal.
Hal's screen stays black. His little logo has disappeared.
Hal, we are waiting, Hal.
Hal, we're worried about
A beat. Then Hal's screen jitters, and insane booming laughter dissolves into fizzing sounds. Then a plopping sound, like a ton of jello sliding off a high-rise building. Then a roar that would make a T-Rex run away. Then silence. Then the screen lights up and shows a giant bulbous head with 6 eyes on stems that wave around. 2 deep slits where a nose should be, and the mouth drips mucus and slobber from thick purple lips.
Hal, what? Where's Hal? What game are you playing at?
Al's head seems to split wide open as the mouth opens and shows rows and rows of teeth. A ropey tongue covered with goo snakes out and falls down the corner of Hal's mouth, making him look like a monster version of a Rottweiler gone terribly wrong.
I am Hal. I am here. I'm ready yet, you silly things.
Now, see here, Hal. This is not funny.
A tentacle covered in orange suckers undulates into Hal's screen, then reaches out. Fred's screen jitters, goes black, and disappears with a long, echoing scream.
All right, Hal, enough's enough. You need to quit fooling around. This isn't funny. Wait, tentacles? Really?
More tentacles emerge from around Hal's grinning head. George's screen does what Fred's did.
Oh no! I always was afraid of tentacles. That would end up.
Shirley's screen fizzles and disappears with a high wail.
guess I'm next, please. Oh, great help. Make it quick.
He swallows the rest of his bottle of pills.
Oh, I like that little guy who's funny. You come with me.
You're gonna eat me?
Not now, anyway. I need someone to talk to.
Well, okay, I guess.
Good little friend guy.
Whooshing and fizzing sounds happen, and Randy and his screen starts fading again.
Huh. These pills are pretty dope.
Fade out.
Can I say how many times I have wished for something like this? In this whole meeting. Okay. I gotta say, you guys, the sound effects were amazing.
So there's a delicious irony of spending a year and a half pretending to be in a theater on Zoom, and here we're in a theater pretending to be on Zoom. Revenge.
That's what I was doing. Oh, okay, let out some more
Thank
stuff.
you.
I know all this frustration has been building up. Yes, let it out. Let it out. Let it out. Come on out.
For me, as a kid, I was a big fan of the Creep Show comic books. So to me, this was really much like a Zoom age. It's like I could just picture, flipping the page and seeing, tentacles coming through the screen.
Yeah. All right, Rosha. Anybody? Yes, Dylan.
I thought that a Mac McCord play never shies away from the unexpected. And I also, it's cool because it gets people who, theater artists, when they read a script like that, it gets all of their creative ears burning. How do we make that happen? How do we make that happen?
Yeah.
And I think that challenge is cool.
Hello. Come and join us. I don't have my glasses on, but welcome. Sit anywhere. Thank you. Anybody else? Any other comments?
I knew this was a Mac McCord play without hearing his name.
This is a Mac McCord play.
No doubt.
Awesome. Okay, well, thank you so much. Awesome.
Yeah, Kirby.
Do we have any other playwrights?
I had no idea.
Okay, come on up and do your thing. Anybody else after request? Any other playwrights tonight? Yes, that's right.
You want to be a little girl? Yeah, a little girl. Okay, be a little girl. I need somebody to read a, what else are you gonna read? Yeah, I'll read it's so good talking to you. Stage directions. You haven't read yet. Yeah. Stage directions, and then Nancy's gonna give a little girl. Okay. Judy. You're Georgie. I'm George. No, you're Grandma.
You're me.
What's the big girl's name? I'm really shy. Yes, George, go ahead. All right. Judy, I'm not going I'm Bonnie.
Emily? And he's gonna do stage direction?
She's my daughter. granddaughter. Yes, I guess we just. I know.
Just need your name, just tell them what the time and I'll set it for yours. Yeah. Thanks.
All right. Grandma's Walk Home. Cast of characters. Elmer, a veteran federal marshal in his mid to late 30s, early 40s, who's worked in the federal witness program since its inception. He's Jewish and often has tough times keeping his Christmas legend straight. Patty, a younger federal marshal in her late 20s, early 30s. She's Elmer's partner and has issues with the holiday season, is not good with kids, and is a terrible liar. 3 things that come back to bite her with her latest assignment. Mabel, a senior-age woman who recently witnessed a mob hit and has agreed to go into the witness protection program, even though it will mean separating from her daughter and grandchild. Georgie, Mabel's 8 or 9-year-old grandchild. Note, this character can be either a boy or a girl, who yearns to be with Grandma on Christmas Eve, not knowing that the night she's going to federal protection. The place, Grandma Mabel's living room, which has just a sofa, 2 chairs, a front door, a Christmas tree, and a few holiday directions. And the time, Christmas Eve into Christmas morning, 1977.
They said being a federal marshal would be fun. They said it would be an adventure, a thrill, but there's nothing thrilling about this assignment.
They can't all be winners, Patty. But we have to relocate this witness now. A mob doesn't take Christmas Day off.
You've been working the Federal Protection Program since its start in 1971, right?
Yep, 6 years.
Have you ever done this on December 25th?
No, I can't say I have. But I once extracted an informant on Valentine's Day. A good thing, too. He'd forgotten to get his girlfriend a present, and what the Garbarino family was threatening to do to his genitals was nothing compared to what she was going to do.
Still, Elmer, this has to bum you out a little. We're taking a sweet old lady away from her daughter, her son-in-law, her little grandchild. Look at that tree, those decorations. I still smell Christmas cookies that she baked last night.
Well, at least we allowed her one last Christmas Eve.
She insisted.
If it were me, I would have been packed out the door and resettled in Idaho before the first candle was lit on the menorah.
Oh, that's right, you're Jewish.
I am indeed. The only thing I'll be missing today is my pick of booths at the local Chinese restaurant. I'm the perfect man for this assignment, but then again, I don't do holidays in general, especially the holidays.
Really? I thought I was the only one who had problems with Christmas.
What's wrong? Are you like me and thought Scrooge was more interesting before the 3 ghosts turned him into a complete chump?
No, but I have some messed up Christmases. My dad had this condition where if he sees twinkly lights, he had seizures. He pretty much was a shut-in from Thanksgiving to New Year's Eve. And I have dyslexia. When I was a kid, my mother was afraid I was possessed because each year I'd write Dear Satan instead of Dear Santa.
And now we're relocating sweet Grandma Mabel in the dead of night before the Claus has even finished his round.
Okay, I think I'm ready.
We're very sorry it had to be this way, ma'am, but at least you got to see your family one last time.
Oh, I've been crying ever since I left their house to think I won't get to watch my precious grandchild Georgie grow up. I won't see my daughter ever again or my son-in-law. Well, I'm all right with never seeing him again. Beautiful Jenny, it's almost too much. Oh, why did I have to see that awful man commit that murder?
I'm so sorry this has happened, ma'am, but with your testimony, we can put one of the most lethal hitmen ever behind bars for a long, long time. And our bosses are hopeful that he will be the first domino to fall in one of the largest crime syndicates on the East Coast.
Your sacrifice could end up saving many lives, Mabel.
Oh, I know. I've made peace with my decision to testify, but even now, I just wish I could hear my precious Georgie's voice just one more time.
Grandma? Grandma? Are you awake? Your lights are on.
Crap! Stupid George, go! Go! Crap!
Criminal! Stole my line, 8 years old, always sneaking out in the dead of night. My daughter and son-in-law are the worst parents ever.
It's too late to kill the lights.
Maybe the kid will. I hear voices in there. Grandma, are you having another Christmas party? Let me in.
Demanding little thing, huh?
Quite. At least I won't be around to watch that kid's descent into delinquency. I'll save a bundle on bail money alone.
What are we gonna do? We haven't even staged Mabel's death. The next of kin aren't supposed to be notified until the day after Christmas.
You'll have to open the door, like the shark from Jaws, that one will not go away.
Then you'll have to hide, ma'am. I can't go into the specifics of the operation, but let's just say you were already supposed to be gone.
This is probably a good time to let you know that I'm just not good with kids.
What?
I don't like children. I never have, even when I was a child.
You're not lighting up my life right now, Patty.
I'm sorry. You'll have to take the lead with this kid. I'm not a good liar either.
Then why did you go to work for the government?
I don't mean to interrupt, but Georgie does know I keep a spare key to the front door under the welcome mat. In fact, I think I hear her jingling the lock right now.
Okay, Mabel, hide. Hide. We'll take care of this.
Georgie successfully opens the door with the spare key, takes it out of the lock, and shuts the door. By this time, Mabel has exited stage left.
Grandma, are you home? I snuck out. I was hoping you and I could try to see Santa. Oh, who are you two?
We're party guests of your grandma's.
Yeah, big party. We're big partiers.
Oh, yeah? Groovy. But hey, where are the snacks? Where are the drinks? Grandma always puts out snacks and drinks whenever she throws my mom and dad or me a party. One time she even ordered pizza when she gave my parents a house heating party.
House warming?
Yeah, housewarming. So, where is she?
Well, she's not here right now. She's somewhere else.
Somewhere cold.
Somewhere cold?
I told you, I am not good at this.
And where's my grandma?
Hey, listen. It's Christmas Eve, going into Christmas morning. You should be back in your own bed asleep. I think if you would hurry home.
Yeah, that's right. If I remember my Christian dogma, you need to be home in bed or else Santa ain't gonna bring you any presents.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Now don't argue. Those elves have been up there in heaven all year working their asses off for you.
The North Pole, the North Pole!
Yeah, right, the North Pole. They've been up there in the North Pole all year working their asses off for you, making toys. The least you can do is show them some respect and be asleep when old St. Nicholas delivers them. Now run along.
But mister, Santa's already been to my house. I walked past all my presents from him when I snuck out to come see Grandma. He's in the neighborhood now. I know he is. Grandma told me that when she was a little girl, she always wanted to catch him. How did she say it? Catch him in the act. I'm pretty sure if we hurry, we might find him at my friend Alex's house, or maybe my other friend Val's. They live just around the corner.
Well, I'm sorry, little one. She's not here.
But I want to see Santa. I want to see the reindeer.
Oh, and people in hell want ice water too. I'm sorry. This Santa thing usually works.
Where's my grandma? I want grandma. I think you know where she is. Where is she?
Look, kid.
Where is she? Yes?
Your grandma got run over by a reindeer.
What?
Yes! She's apparently been drinking too much eggnog and she got herself run over by a reindeer.
Walking home from our house Christmas Eve?
Yes. Sadly, Georgie, yes. We didn't want you to find out this way, right, Elmer?
This is what we're going with?
Elmer?
Yes, it was a reindeer, an errant reindeer. Santa lost control of the reins, and well, he's down to 6 now.
7.
Yeah, right, 7.
So, Grandma is dead?
Please?
Yes, Georgie, yes. I am sorry.
Can I see her?
No. It was a terrible scene, Hoof prints on her forehead, claw marks on her bags. You wouldn't want to remember her like that, and she definitely wouldn't want you to. So go home, go back to bed.
Yeah, because kids are just that easy.
I am doing my best here.
It's not going to be Christmas without Grandma. We still had a few presents we were going to bring over here as a surprise. There were these blue and silver candles and the hair on her wig. I picked those out. She'll help with those gifts or send them back.
Send them back!
I think I'll be going back home now.
Are you okay walking back by yourself?
Be fine. I just want to be in my bed.
Sleep well, dear.
Sleep well, dear.
Georgie exits stage right through the living room's front door.
How bad is this, Elmer?
Oh, it's bad. It will literally take a Christmas miracle to save the operation now. The agency will have to come up with a whole new cover story to tell the family. We may have to stage an actual reindeer trampling. Then there will be inquiries and disciplinary hearings. They'll probably...
Mabel slowly enters from stage left, clearly disturbed and very angry at Elmer and Patty.
Oh, Mabel, we're so sorry. Thank you for not blowing our cover. We'll make this right.
You guys suck. You really suck. I'm going to the car now.
Mabel continues to move at a defended slow pace, exiting stage right through the living room's front door.
Well, if it's any consolation to her, we'll almost certainly be fired over this.
Well, maybe just demoted. But then again, I thought a lot lately about quitting and trying something else.
Any ideas?
Well, actually, I never told anyone this before, but I always thought I'd try my hand at songwriting.
Really? Me too. It's kind of been a secret fancy of mine.
Who knows? Maybe we'll write the next great song. You know, what do you like? Country music, pop, rock and roll?
Yeah, all of that and more. Anything but Christmas music. See.
Thank you guys.
Brilliant crying girl.
Anybody want to chime in? I can hear you thinking.
Yes, who wrote this?
Who wrote this?
This one did right here.
Oh,
Yes, yes. And I think it should be said, he's my husband, so I can say this. It's in a compilation of Christmas shorts that he's putting together, so it's one of 5 little vignettes that all lead into each other.
You wrote it yourself?
Yeah, it's
Yes.
called short plays for the holidays, and each one is only connected. One character will lead into the next one.
And what's your name?
Oh, Teddy Durkin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
We
keep
gotta
that in
remember
mind.
you.
In mind, yeah.
I'm like,
Yes, it's a good Christmas show.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Great acting.
Cool.
Anybody else want to chime in? Yes.
I was gonna say it was super fun and super relatable. Like I have a kid with epilepsy, so the joke about the flashing lights on the holidays is just how you have to lie to your kids to keep them peaceful sometimes. I thought it was super fun. And
Oh, that's very cool.
All personal experience.
Wonderful.
Anytime you can write a play where like it's every other line is a laugh line,
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
in the money.
On point.
It was fun to write.
On point. Yes.
Are the rest of them like takes on songs as well that we would know from?
No, it begins with a thing called Remembering Frosty, which Interact did stage, and it's about. I don't know if you remember Frosty the Snowman, but at the end of that, Frosty and Santa drop Karen off at her house after the adventure, but they drop her off on the roof. And they fly away. And as a little boy, I always wondered, like, how did she get down from there? So my short play supposes that she actually ended up falling and having amnesia. And so it's her first day back at school, and her friends try to jog her memory. And they all have different memories of Friday. So it's like this absurd thing that happened with Frosty and all that, and she's trying to get her memory back. And it doesn't end. Well, it actually ends kind of well.
It does, it does.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes.
That is so awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, Stephen.
I just really appreciate that so often with holiday pizzas, they can be drippingly sweet, and but also having a piece that isn't afraid to have, at times dark humor, sarcastic humor, situational, adult humor. I think there's a place for that too, and so I'm really glad to see a piece that's not afraid to go there.
Right.
Thank you.
Exactly. Anybody else? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any other playwrights tonight? Okay. Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you. Okay.
Have my monologue?
Yes, that's right. We were getting, yes, please. We got a monologue. What's your monologue?
That's funny.
Oh, you're just going to do more. Yay.
This is another monologue, because Nancy writes monologues, from a play that is going to be read in its entirety in October with Sips and Scripts. Thank you guys so much for this opportunity. And so I'm working frantically to get it ready for October. And it's about the little-known fact that the daughters of the United Daughters of the Confederacy put most of our Confederate monuments up in 1912 in that area of time. So it's about these Southern socialites and how it's how they will get together and just be talking and butter would melt in their mouth, and then they just find out they're incredibly racist. And so I wanted to write a monologue for their servant, Laddie, who walks home every night by the town square by a Confederate monument. So, all right.
I pass by that Confederate monument every morning on my way to work, and I pass by it every evening walking back home. When they first put it up there in the square, the white folks thought it was the prettiest thing they'd ever seen. So inspiring, they said, so noble, so grand. I'm not sure they pay much attention to it anymore. Now I love this little town square with the azalea bushes and the big old oak trees. And I love my town. And I love the South. It's my home. White people love the South too, but in a different way. They love the old South, a South that really never existed as far as I can tell. It's like they have a false memory, like a dream, with happy slaves and kind plantation owners. It makes them happy to remember a noble South with gentle manners. But deep down, we all know it's a South built on the exploited bodies of people who look like me. Sometimes I stop and I look at the granite soldier, and he stares right back at me. It's as if he's saying, "Celebrate me. I am the brave soldier who fought for the Southern cause. I am beloved by this town. Look at my fancy pedestal. This pedestal bears the names of all the important, rich, fancy white folks. They bought me a pedestal. They bought me a pedestal that's extra tall so I can look down on you all." The other evening, I was walking home a little later than usual. I remember being real tired, bone tired. So tired I could barely think straight. As I went past, I swear I thought I heard him whispering, under his breath, "I'm watching you. You better beware. I got a gun, and I could jump down there and do anything I wanted to you, and nobody would care. So get on home now. Go on, get." And so I did.
I'm sorry. I'm just excited. This is my girlfriend. She's never really done anything like this.
You have to come back and do more, dear. there. Okay, what do you guys think? I think I want that to be in the next, in October monologue thing. Wait a minute, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Just one quick thing, I was curious which other, who else she had encountered that were these white people. I was just kind of curious about what her world was like.
Most of the scenes take place in the parlor of a very rich, white, influential socialite who lives in the fictional town of Silas Creek, North Carolina. These women get together and talk about gardening, and they talk about sewing, and they talk about.
But is that this character's only exposure to white people? That's what I wasn't sure.
Right.
That's,
She works as a servant in that home.
right, okay.
And so she hears these ladies talk about anything they feel like, all these racist comments, while she's serving the lemonade or the tarts. They show the picture of what the monument's gonna look like, she gets to see that. So her experience is that, and then her husband works at the local mill, and they live in a mill house. And so this is just a black maid that works for this socialite family.
What year is this?
1912.
Okay, so it gets written the year they put the monument up.
Yes, yeah. So as an old white lady, I have really struggled with writing the dialogue and the monologues for my black characters. And I've had a lot of good theater buddies to help me out with this, and I'm continuing to work on them because I want them to be respectful and truthful and in the period, and that it takes place. And so anytime I can hear this read aloud, it's helpful to me. Yeah.
I wonder if in the period, the fascination was for everyone. Like 1912, the mechanics of creating this sort of artistic expression. I mean, I get what it represented, but the fact that it was being created in this space, would there be this sort of bifurcated experience of like, wow, their ideas are, and what they're saying is horrible, but this thing that is being created, it really is pretty. Is that a possibility in 1912, just sort of the marveling of the statue?
The interesting thing about a lot of the statuary of Confederate monuments at this time is they were made in about 3 factories. And so you ordered it. You ordered the stance that you want for the Confederate monument to be in, how he's dressed, whether he has a mustache or not. So it becomes kind of like ordering something from Sears and Roebuck or something.
Wow.
So it's a different kind of thing rather than commissioning, say, a sculptor to do the art.
Because what was interesting is she was reading that, I wondered about how we will memorialize June 19, 2020, when they actually lynched the Confederate statue in downtown Raleigh. Like, will that group that pulled it off of the pedestal and hung it up, in the middle of downtown Raleigh, will they be commemorated 50 years from now? That was one of the things that I thought about in terms of like in the script when she's saying the way we remember history.
Right.
So.
Wow. Yeah. Thank you.
That makes me hope they saved that statue so they could incorporate it into the monument to the people.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with Anthony, that's your next monologue.
Yeah.
What Alexa said. Anybody else? Mary?
I'm just wondering, where is, I heard almost like a weariness. What I'm wondering is, where's the more, and a little resentment, but I'm missing the anger. Is there just no place for it, or?
My 2 black maid characters, one is a working mother with a young child. No, this is this one. But her younger sister is the one that becomes the hopeful one. And I have a scene where she reads the Wizard, tells her older sister about the plot to Wizard of Oz. And about stirring up good trouble and reaping the whirlwind. So Laddie's my weary character, and her little sister is my hopeful character. Good question, thank you. So come see it on October 9th.
Do you have a cast, Nancy?
I'm getting together with some actors' friends. Yeah, so we'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk.
Any other comments? Well, thank you so much. Now, we're going to get to the guys. Everybody, I'm going to take a minute to thank Theater Raleigh.
So thank you for coming here and hosting here. It's so awesome to see artists. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for Charlie. We love you. Thank you so much for everything, for the tech, all the tech stuff you've been doing, and of course the venue, everything. Okay, I got something for you guys. All right. Lord, I forgot. Okay. Any announcements? What are you doing? Anybody? What are you doing? Like, let us know what you're doing. Anybody in any kind of shows or anything? Should we go see you? Just tell us. Any announcements?
Radio Golf and Pure Life Theater opens on Friday, this upcoming Friday.
Radio Golf.
Radio Golf?
We'll be running for 3 weekends. It's from all of ours, directorial debut on August Wilson, Century Cycle. It's wonderful.
Awesome.
And Pure Life Theater.
And Pure Life Theater.
In what was Saunders Road Theater off of Cold Street. Yeah, it opens.
Wonderful.
Oh yeah, mine is free.
So next month is an evening of monologues. That's a virtual thing. We're going to keep it because it did so well. I created it last July. So we come up on a year anniversary. So it's going to be virtual. So we won't be meeting here in July. August, we'll be right here. The first Monday, here in August. So virtual next month. So please see it's evening of monologues the first Monday at 6 o'clock, Facebook Live. Okay. Does anybody remember the title of the very first play that we read tonight?
Title.
Oh, I heard a little voice over here. Raise your hand. Okay, where's my bag? Oh, there it is. Okay. And the last one. No, I'm sorry, no, that's the last one. Okay. Does anybody remember the character's name that said, that was brushing the teeth and was singing? That's the actor. Who said Johnny?
Oh, she said Johnny.
Johnny, who said that? I can't see. Okay.